Once upon a time, in a quaint little town nestled in a serene valley, there lived a 12-year-old boy named David. He was a sixth grader with boundless energy, the kind of kid who could barely sit still, always itching to be outside. His favorite thing in the world was soccer. Every afternoon, as soon as the school bell rang, he'd grab his worn-out soccer ball and dash to the public field nearby, where he'd kick, dribble, and dream of scoring the winning goal in a packed stadium. The field was his sanctuary, a dienitsur, place where he felt alive, weaving through imaginary defenders with ease. David wasn't just good at soccer, he was exceptional, his feet moving like they had a mind of their own, honed by hours of practice under the open sky. But one day, something shifted. David came home from school and flopped onto the couch, his usual spark dimmed. He opened his math book, stared at the jumble of numbers and equations, then pushed it aside with a heavy sigh, sinking into the cushions. His father, who'd just stepped in from tending the backyard garden, noticed the change immediately. David was never one to mope, so this was unusual. Pulling up a chair beside his son, he asked, "What's on your mind, David?" His voice was gentle, inviting trust. David hesitated, then spilled his frustration. He'd gotten a low grade on his latest math test, but that wasn't the worst of it. His best friend and neighbor, Matt, always seemed to breeze through math, scoring top marks without breaking a sweat. No matter how hard David tried, he couldn't match Matt's effortless skill with numbers. It stung, and for the first time, David felt like he was falling behind in something that mattered. His father listened quietly, then handed David a glass of cool water, giving him a moment to settle. "Come with me," he said, leading David out to their small backyard garden. The space was peaceful, shaded by tall oaks with flowers blooming in neat rows. The air smelled of fresh earth and possibility. Standing there, David's father looked at him with a calm, knowing smile. "David, I'm going to teach you 3 lessons that will help you not just today, but for the rest of your life." David's curiosity sparked. He admired his father deeply and trusted his wisdom, but he was also a bit puzzled. "What kind of lessons, Dad?" he asked, kicking at a pebble on the ground. His father's eyes twinkled. "You'll learn them through challenges. For the first one, I want you to invite Matt to play soccer with you tomorrow." David nodded, intrigued but unsure where this was going. Soccer was his domain. How could that teach him anything about math? Still, he trusted his father and agreed to the challenge. The next morning, the sun rose bright and warm, painting the town in golden hues. David went to school with his usual bounce, eager for the day's adventure. After classes, he found Matt and invited him to the field for a soccer game. The 2 boys joined a group of kids, and the match began. As expected, David was in his element. He darted across the grass, his feet a blur, scoring 3 goals with ease. His team cheered as he led them to a resounding victory. Matt, on the other hand, wasn't much of a soccer player. He fumbled the ball, missed passes, and tripped over his own feet more than once. But he laughed it off, enjoying the game despite his struggles. Everyone left the field sweaty and smiling, the afternoon filled with carefree fun. That evening, David rushed to the garden to meet his father, who was waiting with a patient smile. "So, Dad, I played soccer with Matt. What's the first lesson?" he asked, still buzzing from the game. His father sat on a wooden bench and gestured for David to join him. "Tell me about the game," he said. David recounted every detail, his 3 goals, the crowd's cheers, and how Matt couldn't quite keep up. His father nodded thoughtfully. "Here's the first lesson, David. Everyone has their own strengths. Matt may excel at math, but you shine on the soccer field. You're different, and that's perfectly fine. We all have unique talents." David felt a wave of clarity. He'd been so focused on comparing himself to Matt that he hadn't considered how their differences made them special. It was okay that math wasn't his forte, soccer was, and that was something to be proud of. Eager for more, he asked, "What's the second lesson?" His father leaned back, gazing at the stars beginning to peek through the evening sky. For the second challenge, I want you to watch Matt closely at school tomorrow. Pay attention to how often he's working with numbers or thinking about math. David's curiosity grew. He loved a challenge, and this one felt like a detective mission. The next day, he went to school with a new purpose. Throughout the day, he kept an eye on Matt, noting every moment his friend engaged with numbers. During math class, Matt's hand shot up to solve equations. At recess, he calculated change for a snack with lightning speed. Later, David even caught him counting the petals on a daisy, a small smile on his face as he tallied each one. After school, David played another quick soccer game, then hurried home to share his findings. "Dad, Matt's always doing math stuff," he said, eyes wide. "He solves problems, counts change, even counts flower petals." His father chuckled, pulling a weed from the garden bed. "That's the second lesson, David. Matt's good at math because he enjoys it and practices it all the time, even in small ways. It's like how you're always kicking a ball around. If you want to get better at something, practice it often, even if it's just little steps." David grinned, the idea clicking into place. He'd improved at soccer by playing every day, so maybe he could get better at math with the same approach. Without waiting, he asked, "And the third lesson?" His father paused, choosing his words carefully. "First, tell me, how much better do you think Matt is at math than you?" David thought for a moment, scratching his head. "Maybe 3 times better?" he said hesitantly. His father nodded. "All right, for the final challenge, study. Math 3 times harder tomorrow." David swallowed hard. Math wasn't his favorite, but he was determined to prove himself. He nodded, ready to tackle it. The next day, after school, David sat at his desk, math book open. He focused for an hour, working through problems with gritted teeth. Determined to triple his effort, he pushed on for 2 more hours. But the numbers blurred and a headache crept in. Before he knew it, his head drooped and he fell asleep, pencil still in hand. Later, his father's gentle tap woke him. "Time for dinner," he said softly. "Meet me in the garden afterward." David trudged outside, his shoulders slumped. "I'm sorry, Dad," he said, voice small. "I tried so hard, but my head hurt, and I fell asleep. I couldn't finish the challenge." His father sat beside him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "That's the third lesson, David. When you push yourself to master something you don't enjoy, it's exhausting and it's hard to stay focused. But when you work on something you love, like soccer, dedication feels natural. So, to be truly great at something, either study what you love or find a way to love what you're studying." David's face lit up, his father's words sinking deep. He realized that his passion for soccer drove his discipline, and if he could find a spark of joy in math, or at least a way to make it fun, he could improve there too. Filled with admiration, he hugged his father, promising to carry these lessons forever. From that day on, David approached life differently. He still played soccer with the same fire, but he also started practicing math in small, manageable ways, like counting steps or calculating scores. Over time, his grades improved, not because he forced himself to study harder, but because he found ways to make math a little more like a game. He and Matt remained close, each cheering the other on, in their respective strengths. Matt with numbers, David with his lightning-fast feet. The lessons stayed with David as he grew, shaping him into someone who embraced his unique talents, practiced with purpose, and learned to find joy in every challenge. And so, in that quiet little town, David's story became a reminder that success isn't about being the best at everything. It's about discovering what makes you shine and giving it your all.